Tonight in Love Live at 6, these are our top stories. Cabinet orders a revision of procurement practices in government. The opposition wants full disclosure on Recondev and the Mira investigation. Trouble brews at City Hall as the PUP giants are rejecting a mayoral convention. Belize calls for stronger multilateralism at OAS General Assembly, and Belize reviews Refugees Act through second national consultation. Government still weighing options on Cuban medical brigade. Belize expresses solidarity with Venezuela following deadly earthquake and 3 men wounded in Lord's Bank shooting. And recent ex-convict remanded over attempted home burglaries. Stay tuned for those stories and more on tonight's Love Live at 6.
Altoona is one of the most visited Mayan city up until lately. The adjacent communities have collaborated together to see how they can get a space here that the wood carvers could actually market and sell their product. Not having the POS machine in the past, we have lost a lot of sales. Atlantic Bank helped supported our business, giving us the opportunity to get the POS machine. Now with the POS machine, we are able to do more sales, and that will, also bring more, finance to our families.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Back to School 2026 with the Angeles Press is here. And this year is bigger and better. We're talking unbelievable deals all summer long. Starting June 15, stock up on all your school essentials.
New notebooks? Check. Fresh backpacks? Check. Prices that make you smile? Double check.
Mommy, I want my new Samsonite backpack.
That's right. Samsonite still offers a sweet 1-year warranty. And hey, you even get a free merch with purchase while supplies last. Stay in the loop by following the Angeles Press on social media. Every Friday during our back-to-school season, look out for our jaw-dropping This Stuff for Real deals.
So before you shop, make sure you follow
The Angeles Press, your back-to-school headquarters all summer long. The Angeles Press and the Love Foundation, transforming lives with love.
Commercial Cleaning and Products of Belize, CCP, formerly known as Carpet Care Plus, offers a wide variety of professional restorative cleaning services and products in Belize. With over 20 years of experience in the industry, our mission has always been to provide our customers with the best products and services for quality, safe, and environmentally friendly cleaning. What separates us from the rest? The services we offer. Fabric cleaning for all types of carpets, upholstery, walls, and drapes. Vehicle detailing for both the interior and exterior. Total restorative cleaning of ceramic and porcelain tiles for floors, walls, marble, granite, limestone, travertine, clay, and more. Degreasing and polishing of the entire kitchen and all its equipment. Also custom concrete designs. We are a supplier of the most cost-efficient and economically viable products when you buy our specialized super concentrated formulas, such as cleaners, disinfectants, deodorizers, and sanitizers. Additionally, we also carry professional cleaning equipment, such as mops, buckets, vacuums, doormats, and window equipment, which are very durable and practical. You can order any of our products online at www.ccpbelize.com. CCP Belize uses only trained technicians, professional commercialized equipment, and EPA-certified products. Our products are 100% biodegradable. We also have certified green products, which are used by Green Globe approved companies. Visit us at 68 North Front Street, Belize City, or contact us at telephone 223-1820. Email us info@ccpbelize.com.
Introducing GrowWatt, a global leader in distributed energy solutions, delivering innovative solar technology trusted around the world. Engineered for reliability. Designed for sustainability. Built to power every scenario. Powering homes. Empowering businesses. Creating a smarter energy future for Belize. for residential hybrid systems that maximize energy independence, to homes across Belize benefiting from smarter, more efficient power management. GrowWatt off-grid solar storage solutions bring dependable electricity to locations beyond the traditional power grid, providing clean, reliable energy whenever and wherever it is needed. For businesses, GrowWatt delivers powerful commercial and industrial energy solutions that help reduce operating costs while improving energy security, including proven installations right here in Belize, helping businesses operate efficiently with dependable solar energy systems. As transportation evolves, GrowWatt EV charging solutions help power the future with clean energy. Need power on the move? GrowWatt portable solar power solutions provide flexible energy for construction sites, events, emergency applications, and temporary installations. GrowWatt delivers energy-smart solutions for a greener future. Distributed in Belize by Lano Supplies, 112 Ranchita Village, Corozal Town.
Cada conexión es más que solo una señal, es un estudiante abriendo las puertas a su futuro a través de la educación digital. Una mente joven atreviéndose a soñar en grande. Nuestra cultura compartida con el mundo en tiempo real. Y héroes cotidianos respondiendo al llamado del deber cívico. Cuando nos conectamos con Digi, empoderamos a Belice.
Good evening. Welcome to the evening news for today, June 25, 2026. This is Love TV. I am Ernesto Vasquez. Cabinet says it is looking to strengthen Belize's public procurement framework. This week it directed that a comprehensive overhaul of the country's procurement regulations be fast-tracked in the wake of growing scrutiny over government payment practices. Cabinet announced that it examined the existing government procurement rules and concluded the ongoing review of the procurement rules, along with the financial orders of 1965 and the stores orders of 1968, must now be accelerated. As a result, Cabinet has instructed that new draft procurement rules be presented for its consideration within the next 3 months. The decision comes against the backdrop of the controversy surrounding Minister Oscar Mira, following revelations that millions of dollars in government contracts and payments were awarded to businesses connected to his siblings and other relatives. The matter has also raised questions about payment patterns that appeared to bypass established financial oversight thresholds. Earlier this week, Financial Secretary Joseph Waite acknowledged that officials had identified concerning trends in the manner payments were processed, while emphasizing that the payment system was intentionally designed to promote accountability and transparency. Waite said the transactions uncovered during the review were not consistent with how the system was intended to operate.
It appears from what we see that there was a deliberate effort to fragment payments break them down to below. But I'll wait to see what the audit reveals. But sure enough, certainly it doesn't look good. And in my view, I think what happened is that either somebody dropped a ball, fell asleep, or worse, that they moved together on it. Every ministry has an accounting section. Some have big ones, like health, for instance, or we have a small one at the Ministry of Finance because we do a few payments a day, maybe a dozen or so. We're not in that, but some ministries have a lot, and therefore there's quite a bit of volume. But and then, of course, on top of the finance officer, you have the accounting office. And the accounting officer should really take time and look at how the money is flowing through his system. If you see a whole lot of payments going through, it should have raised an alarm. It should have raised an eyebrow. Yeah, I think so. It looks as if there was some willful intention there to dodge under. It looks to me. I'll wait to see what the audit says. But on the surface, it doesn't look correct.
Cabinet's directive gives officials 3 months to complete the draft reforms before they are returned for final consideration. And the Prime Minister has confirmed that the Reconstruction and Development Corporation, better known as Recondev, will soon have a new board of directors, signaling another major governance change as government continues responding to concerns surrounding entities linked to the Mira family. The future of Recondev has been the subject of debate for some time. Just last August, there were renewed calls from the Belmopan City Council for the corporation to be placed under municipal control. It doesn't seem to be an idea that government is entertaining, as the PM has made it clear that the current board will be replaced. For context, here is how the PM viewed a possible amalgamation of Recondev and the Belmopan City Council.
Recondev, when you start to look at it, once you get into the nitty-gritty of the actual workings, it's something that we are both the City Council and the ERA rep are integrately or intimately integrated into the works of what Recondev does. So I think so far we're going to keep it that way. If we could come up with something better, I'm sure we're prepared to take a look at it.
Well, the mayor is saying that he would prefer it to be amalgamated. The City Council take on the roles and responsibilities of Recondev.
I met with the mayor and along with the rep, and that was not one of. We spoke about some issues from Recondev, but he did not bring that to my attention. But I mean, it's not something that I would dismiss. But once we can know how it can work properly, because sometimes our municipalities do not operate the way they need to be able to operate, and it's important that we have these check and balances to ensure that they're operating properly.
For several years now, Recondev has been chaired by Brian Mira, brother of Minister Oscar Mira. Recondev was established to oversee the planning and development of the capital, to exercise authority over land management, infrastructure planning, and building approvals, despite the existence of an elected city council. While the Prime Minister has now confirmed that a new Recondev board will be installed, government has yet to indicate whether any broader reforms to the corporation's mandate are also under consideration. And the United Democratic Party is calling on the Briceño administration to publicly disclose the full scope of the Auditor General's investigation into allegations surrounding former Minister Oscar Mira, while also seeking legal clarification on government's move to replace the Recondev's board. In a 3-page letter dated June 24 and addressed to the Prime Minister, opposition leader Tracy Tager Panton says the public deserves greater transparency regarding both the ongoing investigation and recent government decisions linked to the Recondev controversy. The UDP argues that while the Prime Minister has announced an Auditor General's investigation, the public has not been informed of the investigation's official terms of reference, legal authority, scope, or the composition of the investigative team. The opposition is also requesting that the investigation examine whether Minister Oscar Mira exercised any direct or indirect influence over contracts awarded to businesses connected to members of his family. It is further calling for a comprehensive review of procurement procedures, contract approvals, payment processes, potential conflicts of interest, and whether any public officials breached financial, statutory, or ethical obligations. The letter also raises concerns about the Prime Minister's recent announcement that he had instructed the Cabinet Secretary to begin appointing a new Recondev board. The UDP is asking government to disclose the legal authority for that directive, clarify who has the lawful power to appoint or remove Recondev board members, and state whether the current board has officially been removed, asked to resign, or otherwise replaced. Additionally, the opposition wants the Auditor General's review expanded to include Recondev's governance, the allocation of national lands, and any decisions involving ministers, board members, their relatives, politically connected persons, or associated entities where conflicts of interest may exist. Our newsroom did ask the opposition leader for an interview on this list of recent demands, but our requests went unanswered. Reports have surfaced tonight suggesting that the People's United Party may be attempting to avoid a contested mayoral convention in Belize City ahead of the 2027 municipal elections. Multiple sources have informed Love News that Belize City Councillor Elude Miller was approached earlier today and asked to withdraw from the race for the PUP's mayoral candidacy. However, as of news time, the party has not officially confirmed that such a request was made. The reported development comes just days after Prime Minister John Briceño publicly praised the democratic tradition within the People's United Party, saying that conventions allow delegates to decide who should represent the party. But if today's reports prove accurate, questions are already being raised about whether that democratic process is being allowed to run its course. Following reports of that alleged request, a number of Belize City councillors and party supporters took to social media expressing public support for Miller's candidacy. Councillor Kaya Katus reaffirmed her backing of Miller, stating that she was proud to stand beside him as the party's next mayor. Councillor Sherwin Garcia also posted his support, declaring, "Let the 700 delegates decide," while Councillor Edmund Kwan wrote that seniority doesn't mean capability, adding that he firmly supports Elude Miller for the position. Love News also spoke with an individual associated with the Alan Pollard camp who confirmed hearing this same report circulating within party circles. However, that source was unable to independently verify whether the request had in fact been made. We reached out to both Elude Miller and PUP Chairman Henry Charles Usher seeking comment. Up to news time, neither had responded to our requests for confirmation or denial. This new development comes against the backdrop of comments made just last week by Alan Pollard Sr., who publicly insisted that the People's United Party should endorse his son as its mayoral candidate. Pollard claimed that such a commitment had previously been made to his son by senior figures within the party.
Asked him to step down the last term, and he did what they asked him to do. This term, they come and do the same thing and tell Mr. Miller, step aside, it's not your turn. But they decide to have a convention, so we will do a convention. If they come and do the same thing for my son and my son step aside and come and tell him that he is not ready at this time, and this is Mr. Pollard's turn. But they decide that we're going to have a convention, so the convention is what we're going to have. Let's start the war. My son have experience, 3-term experience. My son sit on so many boards. My son is ready for this. My son is raised by the city. So my son know exactly what the city needs. He was with the whole council, was with Bernard all the way. Just due to Bernard is his son-in-law, he decided that, well, he will do thing for Mr. Miller, which I will do the same thing, but if he could vote and say that Mr. Pollard is a good person, Mr. Pollard, do what you have to do. And they don't have no dirt for my son. My son been there with no kind of dirt. So they can't pinpoint. Only thing my son have is his name. Not trying to get rich or none, he have his name and his name only.
Are you upset with PUP considering that they're not asking Elude to step aside?
From my perspective, this is not from my son. Yes, I am mad. I am very mad because they asked my son to step down 2 different times. And they could have done the same thing and tell Mr. Miller to do the same thing that they did to Mr. Pollard. Understand? So I have to be mad. If I'm saying I'm not mad, I'm telling a lie.
So you're saying this is not about money, but Street Talk is saying that Alan is only running because he wants to be paid off again to step down.
Alan never been paid off. You could ask anybody in PUP if they ever paid Alan Pollard to step down. Alan Pollard never need no money. We grew up poor, but we don't need money, and nobody can pinpoint. Nobody from the PUP could pinpoint and say that they give Mr. Pollard money to step down, because we don't need money. Only thing we have is our name, and we could lift our head above water anytime and anywhere. We, just like his uncle Cordell Hyde, nobody could pinpoint and say nothing about him. The same way my son is carrying himself.
And with the party's municipal convention drawing closer, all eyes will now be on whether the People's United Party proceeds with a competitive convention as previously indicated, or whether efforts are made to settle the contest before delegates have an opportunity to cast their votes. We will keep tracking the story. Belize has used the floor of the Organization of American States General Assembly to reaffirm the importance of multilateral cooperation. The Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Oscar Arnold, warned that recognition of multilateralism alone is no longer enough to address today's increasingly complex global challenges. Addressing delegates at the 56th regular session of the OAS General Assembly in Panama City, Arnold said the international community is navigating an exceptionally turbulent period marked by political, social, and security uncertainties. Speaking on behalf of Belize, Arnold noted that while many of the challenges confronting the hemisphere are not new, they continue to threaten democracy, security, and stability across the Americas. He stressed that for small states like Belize, strong, transparent, and rules-based multilateral institutions are essential, providing countries with an equal voice, safeguarding sovereignty, and ensuring that disputes are resolved through the dialogue rather than power.
I will not recount the many political, social, and security challenges currently confronting our international community. They are evident to us all and have already been referenced by previous speakers. Instead, I wish to focus on the theme selected by our distinguished host, and specifically on the enduring value of multilateralism. The theme, strong multilateralism in the defense of democracy, hemispheric security, and stability in member states, captures concisely the great shared preoccupation that our democracies, hemispheric security, and even the stability in some states may be at risk. It also rightly identifies strong multilateralism as a bulwark against these threats. For small states, a robust, transparent, and rules-based international and multilateral system is an essential element for security, stability, and at times, the very existence of our states. In a world where disparities in size, economic weight, and geopolitical influence remain a reality, multilateral institutions provide all states, especially smaller states, with something invaluable: a voice, a seat at the table, and a framework through which international relations are governed by agreed rules rather than raw power.
Arnold also highlighted the OAS's long-standing support for Belize and Guatemala in the ongoing territorial dispute before the International Court of Justice, describing the process as one of the clearest examples of rules-based multilateralism in action, expressing Belize's appreciation for the organization's role in accompanying both countries towards a peaceful and definitive resolution, with a judgment from the ICJ expected within the coming year. Prime Minister Briceño has assumed the rotating presidency pro tempore of the Central American Integration System, placing Belize at the helm of one of the region's most important integration bodies for the next few months. The official handover took place today during a ceremony at the SICA General Secretariat in San Salvador, El Salvador, where the presidency was transferred from the Dominican Republic. And during the official transfer ceremony, Prime Minister Briceño received the presidency pro tempore from the Dominican Republic Foreign Minister Roberto Alvarez, marking the beginning of Belize's leadership of the regional organization. As he accepted the role, the Prime Minister reaffirmed Belize's commitment to deepening regional integration and strengthening cooperation among member states. According to the government of Belize, one of the immediate priorities under Belize's presidency will be to encourage the full participation of all Central American member states while advancing SICA's shared achievements, regional development agenda, and collective prosperity. The government says Belize intends to work closely with its regional partners to build consensus on key issues affecting the integration process and to further strengthen collaboration across the region. The Belize delegation was facilitated by Belize's ambassador to El Salvador, Luan Burns Martinez, while Ambassador Amalia Mai, who also has responsibility for SICA affairs, accompanied the Prime Minister during the official proceedings. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has unveiled 2 landmark documents to transform Belize's healthcare workforce over the next 5 years. Today, the ministry officially launched the Belize Human Resources for Health Policy and the Belize Human Resources for Health Strategic Plan 2026-2030, providing a roadmap, strengthening recruitment, training, deployment, and retention of healthcare professionals while addressing a critical shortage of health workers across the country. The new policy is built around 4 priority areas: strengthening governance and regulatory frameworks, expanding the education and training of health professionals, ensuring strategic and equitable recruitment and deployment, and improving the attraction, motivation, and retention of healthcare workers. According to Director of Health Policy, Research and Planning, Dr. Andre Chell, the accompanying 5-year strategic plan transforms those priorities into practical actions that will be implemented across Belize's health system.
So today we're launching 2 documents, the Belize Human Resources for Health Policy and Strategic Plan 2026-2030, right? The policy is guided by 4 policy priority actions. The first focuses on strengthening HRH governance and regulatory frameworks. We're also talking about enhancing, strengthening education, the production of HRH, right? We're also talking about the strategic and fair recruitment and deployment of our health professionals. And then, of course, we're talking also about the attraction, the motivation, and the retention of our healthcare workers, right? So now these 4 policy actions are translated now into strategic objectives and outputs in the 5-year strategic plan now, right? So the strategic plan now sets the actual activities that we now need to carry over the next 5 years to strengthen our health workforce.
The launch also comes as Belize continues to operate below the World Health Organization's recommended threshold for healthcare workers needed to achieve universal health coverage. Current figures show the country has 38.2 physicians, nurses, and midwives per 10,000 people, falling short of the WHO benchmark of 44.5 health workers per 10,000. Dr. Chell says the newly launched strategic plan is designed to close that gap with a major emphasis on strengthening health workforce data collection. He explained that having accurate district-level information will allow the ministry to better identify shortages, allocate resources, and make evidence-based decisions on where healthcare workers are needed most.
So currently, Belize has 38.2 physicians, nurses, and midwives per 10,000 population, right? The recommended threshold by the World Health Organization is 44.5 physicians, nurses, and midwives per 10,000. That is to meet universal health, right? To move towards universal health coverage. we know that we have shortage of healthcare workers, and so these two documents try to address those challenges, right? However, when it comes to the distribution, a more in-depth situation analysis can be found in both documents, and what we are trying to strengthen in both documents is actually health workforce data. We need data. We need to know precisely what you're saying, right? How much physicians are in the different districts, in the rural areas, nurses, for example, right? So we do want to be guided by evidence. We do want to be guided by the data, and that is why we are strengthening our health workforce information system to guide our health workforce planning in the years to come.
Also today, the Ministry of Immigration, Governance and Labour, in partnership with the United Nations Refugee Agency, the UNHCR, convened its second stakeholder consultation to review proposed amendments to the legislation. The session brought together representatives from government ministries, international organizations, civil society groups, academia and development partners to examine the proposed changes and provide recommendations before the legislation moves forward. Among those participating were officials from UNHCR, Humana People to People, the University of Belize, and several government agencies. Director of the Refugees Department, Nikolai Zelaya, said the consultation process is critical to ensuring the law reflects both Belize's national realities and its international commitments. During consultation, the participants were presented with an overview of the proposed amendments, including provisions that could impact the administration of Belize's asylum system and the delivery of services to individuals seeking international protection. Stakeholders were invited to offer feedback, raise concerns, and suggest improvements to help shape the revised legislation. Director Zelaya noted that the review seeks to establish a fair, efficient, and modern asylum system that protects the rights and dignity of asylum seekers while strengthening Belize's institutional capacity to respond to evolving migration challenges. He added that input from a broad cross-section of stakeholders will help ensure the amended legislation serves both those seeking refuge and the interests of Belize. The consultation series is supported by UNHCR with funding from the government of Japan. According to the ministry, the recommendations gathered during the stakeholder sessions will help guide the final revisions to the Refugee Act before it advances through the legislative process. And aside from its directive to fast-track a comprehensive overhaul of Belize's procurement rules, Cabinet also addressed several other matters of national importance during this week's meeting, approving a series of measures to strengthen regional integration, expanding trade, modernizing financial legislation, and advancing the country's energy sector. PM Briceño updated Cabinet on Belize's preparations to assume the pro tempore presidency of the Central American Integration System, CICA, for the period July to December of this year. While the regional bloc's agenda focuses on economic and social integration, institutional strengthening, democratic security, climate change, and sustainable development, Belize intends to broaden those discussions by placing additional emphasis on migration, energy security, regional and international cooperation, and disaster risk management. And Cabinet also approved Belize's signing and subsequent ratification of a partial scope agreement with the Republic of El Salvador, scheduled to be signed on July 2nd in San Salvador. The agreement will form part of Belize's strategy to diversify export markets, deepen economic integration with Latin America, and create new trade and investment opportunities for Belizean businesses. Government says the agreement extends beyond trade in goods by establishing a framework for broader economic cooperation between the two countries. Another key decision, Cabinet approved the establishment of a governance structure for the development of the electronic single window for trade. The platform will eventually serve as Belize's national electronic portal through which all import and export documents can be submitted and processed, streamlining trade procedures and improving efficiency for businesses. And Cabinet also endorsed the implementation of a cost of power adjustment or COPA mechanism for electricity rates. The government says the new system is intended to prevent large, immediate increases in electricity prices while providing greater transparency for the consumer. The mechanism will also allow customers to benefit when power generation costs decline and brings Belize's regulatory framework in line with practices used throughout North America and Central America and the Caribbean. On the legislative front, Cabinet approved the introduction of a new credit union bill that will provide an updated legal framework governing the registration, licensing, management, and supervision of credit unions. The proposed legislation will repeal and replace the existing Credit Union Act, modernizing oversight of the sector. Cabinet also gave its approval to the final modifications of the proposed Millennium Challenge Corporation Compact. The revisions strengthen the energy component of the compact, enhancing its capacity to promote long-term economic growth, improve the country's energy infrastructure, and contribute to the reduction of poverty. We'll be back with more news. Please stay with us. Don't go away. Right after the break, we'll be back with the news.
People, not businesses, power the economy. And they deserve to be acknowledged, appreciated, and compensated for their efforts. Because when your people are successful, so is your business. Neo People, simplify your HR and payroll needs with one powerful solution.
A year ago, on March 17, 2025, Builders Hardware introduced something new for Belize, our online store. For the first time, customers could explore thousands of products, place their orders, and complete their purchases entirely online. Whether you're nearby or in another district, you can browse what you need, place your order, and have it delivered directly to you. And for those who prefer to pick up their items, our smart lockers make it quick and simple. Just scan your code and your order is ready. Every day, more and more people across the country have begun turning to the platform as a faster and more convenient way to shop with Builders Hardware. Along the way, many customers have also found added benefits online, from special website offers to rewards for those signing up for the first time. All of this is just another step towards making our products more accessible to communities across Belize, bringing our store closer to you wherever you are.
Money travels fast, so make sure you check it before you spend it. Here are 4 easy ways to know your money is real. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Look closely at your note by holding it to the light to see the watermark and the note value. Notice how the see-through image completes itself perfectly. Feel for authenticity. Run your fingers over the raised portrait and the bars on the edges. 1 bar for the $2 and up to 6 bars for the $100. Tilt the note to see the hidden value appear. Look for the moving images on the security thread and holographic shimmer on higher denominations. Check closely. Use UV light or a magnifying glass to find hidden images and microtext. Remember, handling counterfeit money is illegal. If you spot a fake, report it to the police immediately. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Know your money. Check it before you spend it. A message from the Central Bank of Belize.
Rotavirus is a leading cause of severe watery diarrhea and vomiting in young children. It can lead to dangerous dehydration and hospital visits. The good news? The rotavirus vaccine is now available countrywide. It is given in drops at 2, 4, and 6 months of age. Protect your child. Visit your nearest health clinic today.
defenders, no fright, no fear, nobody.
The NEBL Finals is here. And Saturday night at the Belize Civic Center, Game 1 of this mega final showdown starts between the #1 team, the Belize City Defenders, riding a 12-game winning streak.
God, no boy, nobody that way.
Goes up against the #2 team, the Orange Walk Running Rebels, in a best-of-5 series that will definitely be an all-out competitive battle between these rivals. Gates open at 7:30 p.m. for a 9 p.m. ferry tip-off. TV, cell phone, night stay, bar tabs, the NEBL girls, plus more. This Saturday night at the Belize Civic Center, Game 1 of the NEBL Finals between the rivals, the Belize City Defenders and the Orange Walk Running Rebels. Sponsored by the Government of Belize.
Welcome back, and you're live with the news here on Love Television. The future of the Leadership Intervention Unit's work program remains under review, with Commissioner of Police Dr. Richard Rosado confirming that the authorities are carefully evaluating the initiative before making any decision on whether it should resume. The work program, which was suspended on May 26, provided temporary employment and stipends to more than 500 participants, paying out approximately $160,000 every 2 weeks. However, it is important to note that only the work program component was paused. The other operational aspects of the LIU continue to function as part of the government's broader violence intervention efforts. Speaking to reporters today, the Commissioner said the review is focusing on determining what aspects of the program worked well and where improvements may be headed or be needed before any decision is made on its future.
We have to appreciate that social intervention program must be based on evidence. And under Mr. Mira tenure, certain feedback we receive that require that us to do some assessment of the social intervention programs and based on to determine whether they're actually having an impact. I believe by doing an assessment, it gives us the opportunity to show that we are accountable, transparent, and we embrace evidence-based approach, and we embrace continuous improvement. So it gives us the opportunity to make a thorough assessment of what needs to be done. Please appreciate that only 1 or 2 programs is currently under assessment or under pause, temporarily under pause. The then Minister Mira, and CEO and I, we sat with the director of the LIU. The minister explained his position to the director. They were given, I believe, a month or 2 notice to inform the individuals on the ground of the programs that will go under assessment. So there were ample time for us to do the necessary adjustment, and everybody involved knew about the adjustment or the assessment that were being made. The assessment is in the process of wrapping up, but we do recognize that whatever social intervention program we implement, there must be meaningful behavioral change, and hence the reason for the assessment of certain programs.
And while no timeline has been announced for a final decision, the officials have maintained that the review is intended to ensure the program delivers the greatest possible impact if it is reintroduced. When the suspension of the work program was first announced on May 26, Chief Executive Officer and the Minister of Home Affairs, Elton Bennett, stressed that the initiative had never been intended to become a permanent source of employment. Bennett explained that the work program was designed as a transitional intervention to help participants gain stability while pursuing longer-term education, training, or employment opportunities.
There are different factors that led us to the decision that we are at this point, where we are revising and assessing the efforts of the LIU in different areas. But first of all, let me state for the record that it's not the entire LIU that we are pausing at this time. The works of the LIU is very important, especially at this time. So those intervention efforts are continuing. and some of those other programs that are essential, especially during the state of emergency at this time, is very essential, and they would be continuing. What we're taking a pause on right now is the work program that we have with the Belize City Council, where we employ at-risk youths and some members who are affiliated with criminal gangs in Belize City, and where they were given an opportunity for employment. The whole intent of the work program was to have these individuals employed, working on this beautification program in Belize City. That's the program that we are currently pausing in order for us to revisit and to see the individuals that are on the program to determine their suitability to continue. Quite a few individuals that are a part of this beautification program, the work program in Belize City, are actually incarcerated. That in itself would disqualify these individuals from benefiting financially. We currently have over 20 personnel incarcerated at the Kobe Foundation that were individuals who were identified as part of the SOU that needed to be detained and questioned. Most of them would have other sources of income, or they would be required to have another source of income. This assistance through the work program wasn't intended to be a career. It wasn't intended to be your sole purpose, your sole source of income. It was only an assistance for yourself and your family.
The LAU work program was introduced as part of a wider anti-violence strategy at reducing gang activity, crime and social instability by engaging at-risk young people, particularly in Belize City, through temporary employment opportunities and social intervention. In other news, police are looking into a shooting incident in the Belize district that left 3 men injured last night in Lords Bank village in Ladyville. Investigators say the incident came to light shortly before 8 in the night when the police visited the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital after receiving reports of gunshot victims. Upon arrival, the officers saw 24-year-old Alfredo Flores and 19-year-old Giovanni Gillett receiving medical treatment for gunshot injuries. Police investigations show that Alfredo Flores, Edgar Flores, and Giovanni Gillett had been socializing with several other persons at a residence in Lords Bank when an unidentified male approached the front of the yard and opened fire on the group before fleeing the scene. As a result of the shooting, Alfredo Flores and Giovanni Gillett received gunshot injuries and were transported to the hospital, where they remain hospitalized in critical but stable condition. Police say a third victim, Edgar Flores, also was injured during the attack but declined medical treatment. Investigators are looking to determine the motive behind the shooting and identify the gunman responsible. So far, no arrests have been made. And a 24-year-old Belize City man is back behind bars just 9 days after being released from prison. This time on allegations that he was caught in the act attempting to burglarize a woman's home on Fabers Road. Robert Laureano, a resident of Fabers Road, appeared unrepresented in the court yesterday, where he was arraigned on a single charge of burglary. He pleaded not guilty to the allegation. Well, according to police, the incident occurred shortly before 3 on Monday morning. The complainant, 52-year-old bartender Carol Viola Carr, reported that she was asleep when she was awakened by someone reaching through her bedroom window with a makeshift pole. The pole was being used to hook and retrieve her handbag, which contained $350 and other personal items, all valued at a total of just over $400. Police say Carr reacted quickly by grabbing the improvised pole from the suspect before calling 911. She then ran outside where she recognized a man she had seen in the neighborhood before and confronted him, delaying his departure until the police arrived and detained him at the scene. Laureano was charged with burglary And during his arraignment, the court denied him bail after learning that he had only recently been released from prison following a conviction for handling stolen goods. He has been sent back to prison until August 24, when he's scheduled to return to court as the matter proceeds. And a Belizean man accused of murdering his common-law wife by setting her on fire remains on remand after his case returned to court this week. He took a halt, however, when the prosecutors advised that they are still not in possession of a case file. 35-year-old Frederick Wagner, who is charged with the murder of 61-year-old Don Bernard, appeared unrepresented before the court on Wednesday, where the matter was once again adjourned due to the outstanding disclosure. The police prosecutor informed the court that the case file has not yet been completed. Noting that the matter has been before the court since December of last year, the chief magistrate directed that police provide the court with an update on the status of the file by Tuesday, June 30th. Wagner was further remanded to prison and is scheduled to return to the Belize City Magistrates Court on July 21, when the matter is set for a preliminary inquiry. The case items from an incident on November 10, 2025, at a residence on Lakeview Street in Belize City. Police responded after reports that Don Bernard had suffered extensive burns and had been transported to the Carl Hughesner Memorial Hospital. The police say Bernard sustained severe burns to her face, shoulders, chest, back, and hands while receiving treatment. She told police that her common-law husband had sprayed her with rubbing alcohol before setting her on fire with a lighter. The officer subsequently detained Wagner, who was found with burn injuries to one of his hands. Wagner was initially charged with attempted murder and use of deadly means of harm. However, following Bernard's death on November 24, 2025, the charges were upgraded to murder. A post-mortem examination concluded that Bernard died from acute pulmonary edema with pulmonary thromboembolism resulting from coma and thermal injuries. Moving on with the news, government of Belize says it is still evaluating its options regarding the future of the Cuban Medical Brigade and has not yet arrived at a final decision on the long-standing medical cooperation program. The issue has remained in the spotlight following comments made earlier this month by United States Chargé d'Affaires Catherine Beamer, who said Washington supports Belize's reported intention to eventually wind down the program while encouraging adherence to international labor standards. Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Oscar Arnold, provided an update on the government's position, explaining that discussions remain ongoing and emphasized that the administration is carefully examining alternatives available before making any definitive decision, adding that once government settles on a clear course of action, the Belizean public will be informed.
I believe Prime Minister gave indications that we are looking at the program. The Chargé of Affairs didn't mince word when she says that they are committed to try to, well, not to try to, but they are committed to encouraging all the countries in this hemisphere to cease and desist with that program. And I believe that the government of Belize, through the Prime Minister's office, has indicated that we will look at the program. I believe a few months ago, prior to my time here as CEO, Cabinet has instructed both the Foreign Affairs Ministry as well as the Ministry of Health to look at options to try to put proposals on the table that can be discussed and then move it from there. And I believe that those proposals, looking at those proposals and looking for other solutions will be coming to our end shortly, and it will have to revert back to Cabinet to make a decision and then to inform the Belizean public. We know that at every instance, the government of Belize, again through the Prime Minister, through the Foreign Minister, has stated that this program provides much needed technicians, much needed doctors. And so whatever decision is made, something will have to be in place to ensure that there is not a big vacuum or that there is not a big void that remains in our medical system. We still need to ensure that we can provide the delivery of service. This current iteration of the medical brigade expanded and started with the onset of the COVID pandemic. I know that the doctors at the time who had spent between 10 to 11 months there returned, and then a new brigade came. And so, I mean, everyone knows that we have doctors, we have nurses, we have specialists. Some of them are placed in rural areas, and we have to ensure that these poor and depressed communities aren't adversely affected and don't have medical services.
On June 11, Chargé d'Affaires Catherine Beamer said the United States supports Belize's efforts to phase out the program and expressed confidence that the government of Belize is committed to maintaining a robust healthcare system. While declining to discuss any private conversations with government officials, Beamer notes that the United States remains interested in ensuring international labor standards and human dignity are upheld. Asked about these remarks, Arnold said Belize values its relationship with the United States, but stressed that any decision regarding the Cuban Medical Brigade will ultimately be made by the government of Belize based on the country's healthcare needs and national interests.
What I read from the comment and the stuff that were sent to me was that she's saying that they would support the decision of the wind up. I didn't see that she said there that it was coming to an end or an abrupt end. I believe when that decision is made, that the Prime Minister's office and the cabinet will have to inform the Belizean people, and the highest decision-making group in the country is the cabinet.
The Cuban Medical Brigade has become a significant diplomatic issue following increased scrutiny by the United States. The U.S. government has encouraged countries participating in the program to review their agreements, arguing that they should comply with international labor standards. Some countries have ended or modified their agreements, while others have retained the brigade, saying they remain essential to their healthcare systems. In related news, CEO in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Oscar Arnold, says discussions are underway to recruit additional medical professionals from across the region and beyond. Arnold provided the update earlier this month, explaining the program forms part of government's broader efforts to ensure that Belize maintains adequate healthcare personnel while strengthening the country's medical workforce.
No cabinet had instructed both ministries and gave them 6 months to get back to them with any proposals or any solutions. Since then, I have been engaged in conversation prior to being posted here, but my post as ambassador in Mexico, to look at universities there that have a nursing program to see whether they would have the capacity or an extra capacity for nurses to be recruited from that area. I know that we are in discussions as well with Salvador. There's always discussions with the Philippines, but I believe sourcing medical practitioners within the immediate vicinity of Belize and the countries around us has been a new option, and that is, we're actively pursuing that. The Ministry of Education is also involved. We do provide, many students do attend universities in Guatemala, in Mexico. A few of them now are attending in Salvador. And so lists are being compiled of these individuals to see whether or not in the coming months that they will be able to fit this profile. We do have a few medical students who will be finishing their courses and their programs in Cuba as well within the next few months. And so we're hoping that these individuals would help to fill some of the gaps that will be created in the event this brigade has to come to an end.
Last April 6, Minister of Foreign Affairs Francis Fonseca confirmed that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Health had been tasked by Cabinet to explore alternative recruitment options while simultaneously working to preserve the long-standing partnership with Cuba. At the time, Fonseca stressed that government's priority remained retaining the approximately 92 Cuban medical professionals currently serving in Belize, including 45 doctors who play a vital role in delivering health care, particularly in rural areas. He did acknowledge that Belize continues to experience a shortage of healthcare workers, especially nurses, revealing that officials are looking at additional sources of recruitment, including the Philippines and Nicaragua. The final segment of the evening news will be up right after this commercial break. Please stay with us.
Show your pride by respecting our national anthem whenever it's being played. We're blessed. We are free. We are proud. This is our Belize. Respect it, cherish it, love it.
Back to School 2026 with the Angeles Press is here. And this year is bigger and better. We're talking unbelievable deals all summer long. Starting June 15, stock up on all your school essentials.
New notebooks? Check. Fresh backpacks? Check. Prices that make you smile? Double check.
Mommy, I want my new Samsonite backpack.
That's right. Samsonite still offers a sweet 1-year warranty. And hey, you even get a free merch with purchase while supplies last. Stay in the loop by following the Angeles Press on social media every Friday during our back-to-school season. Look out for our jaw-dropping, this stuff for real deals.
So before you shop, make sure you follow
The Angeles Press, your back-to-school headquarters all summer long. The Angeles Press and the Love Foundation, transforming lives with love.
If this is an emergency situation, please call 911 right away for immediate assistance. Do not use the Crime Stoppers program in an emergency situation. Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. Remember, the more information you give the officers, the more likely it is that we will be able to identify the suspect or confirm a crime has taken place. This ultimately helps when making arrests. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Never put yourself in danger to gather information. However, if you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Once you click Submit Tip, P3 will ask to send you notifications. You choose what's right for you. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Keep that info safe as you'll need it to check the status of your tip. Using the app, simply log back in using the PIN you created when you first opened it. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
Commercial Cleaning and Products of Belize, CCP, formerly known as Carpet Care Plus, offers a wide variety of professional restorative cleaning services and products in Belize. With over 20 years of experience in the industry, our mission has always been to provide our customers with the best products and services for quality, safe, and environmentally friendly cleaning. What separates us from the rest? The services we offer. fabric cleaning for all types of carpets, upholstery, walls, and drapes, vehicle detailing for both the interior and exterior, total restorative cleaning of ceramic and porcelain tiles for floors, walls, marble, granite, limestone, travertine, clay, and more. Degreasing and polishing of the entire kitchen and all its equipment. Also custom concrete designs. We are a supplier of the most cost-efficient and economically viable products when you buy our specialized super concentrated formulas, such as cleaners, disinfectants, deodorizers, and sanitizers. Additionally, we also carry professional cleaning equipment, such as mops, buckets, vacuums, doormats, and window equipment, which are very durable and practical. You can order any of our products online at www.ccpbelize.com. CCP Belize uses only trained technicians, professional commercialized equipment, and EPA certified products. Our products are 100% biodegradable. We also have certified green products, which are used by Green Globe approved companies. Visit us at 68 North Front Street, Belize City, or contact us at telephone 223-1820. Email us info@ccpbelize.com.
Welcome to the William David Fonseca Parking Facility, your modern solution for safe and convenient parking in downtown Belize City. With easy payment options such as prepaid cards or coins, parking downtown has never been easier. Enjoy affordable rates as low as 75 cents for 15 minutes, $1.50 for 30 minutes, and $3 for an hour. Open and available 24/7. Park smart. Park safe. Park at the William David Fonseca Parking Facility. Modern, secure, convenient. Your Belize City Council. Always about the people.
Defenders don't frighten nobody.
The NEBL Finals is here. And Saturday night at the Belize Civic Center, Game 1 of this mega final showdown starts between the number 1 team, the Belize City Defenders, riding a 12-game winning streak. Goes up against the number 2 team, the Orange Walk Running Rebels, in a best-of-5 series that will definitely be an all-out competitive battle between these rivals. Gates open at 7:30 p.m. for a 9 p.m. ferry tip-off. TV, cell phone, night stay, bar tabs, the NEBL girls, plus more. This Saturday night at the Belize Civic Center, Game 1 of the NEBL Finals between the rivals, the Belize City Defenders and the Orange Walk Running Rebels. Sponsored by the Government of Belize.
Welcome back. Residents of Valley of Peace are expected to benefit from an improved garbage collection system following the launch of a pilot waste management initiative in that community. The project officially got underway yesterday with the handing over of a new garbage trailer from the Department of the Environment to the Valley of Peace Village Council. The program was formalized through the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between the Ministry of Sustainable Development, acting through the Department of the Environment, and the Village Council. Minister of Sustainable Development Orlando Habet attended the handover ceremony, saying the pilot project represents more than simply providing equipment. According to Habet, the initiative is designed to help communities develop sustainable waste management practices while fostering a stronger sense of environmental responsibility among the residents.
This morning we came to the Valley of Peace to have a small pilot project which we have launched about 2 years ago in a few other communities, and now is the turn for the Valley of Peace. What we are doing is we are donating through my ministry and the Department of Environment a trailer for them to be able to use. It can be hitched up to the back of a pickup truck, and the trailer can be used to pick up garbage from households from around the village. Like many other villages, Valley of Peace, especially being one of the large villages in the country, even if the village council and the community have and make an effort to pick up the garbage, the problem has always been the disposal of the garbage. What do you do with that garbage when you already picked it up? So they have a site where they dispose of the garbage, but it is not sustainable. And many others have the same. Those who live closer to the transfer stations can opt to take it to the transfer station. What my ministry has done now through SWAMA, the Solid Waste Management Authority, is to, when we looked at the fees, which we call tipping fees, to take a trailer load or a small pickup load of garbage to the transfer station, the fees is not significant. But even with that small fee, some people will still decide not to want to pay it, and then they go and they throw it somewhere which is illegal and what eventually becomes a large hotspot and very unsightly. So it contributes to that ugly sight, that issue that almost wants to become cultural, where we do not clean up our area properly. So at the same time, it promotes environmental stewardship, and we want to make that behavioral change where people will no longer just easily take their garbage and just throw it just anywhere, but they can now bag it off, and also they have a way how it can be picked up and properly disposed of. So I think it is a very good initiative, and we are hopeful that in the near future we can do the same with some other communities. We already have a request from another community that's not too far away from here, I think Buena Vista. We have a request from another community in Orange Walk. And so we're trying to see how we can get the funds, at least 1 by 1 or 2 by 2, to assist some of these larger communities.
Well, the project forms part of the ministry's national anti-littering campaign, promoting responsible waste disposal through community partnerships, public education, and practical solutions tailored to local needs. 173 public officers from across the country were recognized for reaching the remarkable milestone of 25 years of service. The 2026 Public Service Award ceremony was held last night as part of this year's Public Service Week celebrations, hosted by the Ministry of the Public Service. The gala event brought together senior government officials, public officers, family members, and invited guests to celebrate the commitment and professionalism of employees who have devoted a quarter-century to serving the Belizean public. Awards were presented by Governor General Her Excellency Dame Froilat Salam and Minister Henry Charles Usher. In his address, Minister Usher emphasized that public officers remain the backbone of the government, are central to delivering the policies, programs, and essential services that directly improve the lives of Belizeans. Additionally, he reaffirmed the government's commitment to continuing the modernization of the public service in keeping with the vision of Plan Belize. This year's Public Service Week was observed under the theme, Transform Public Institutions, Advancing Innovations, Inclusion and Participation. And finally, the Belize Defense Force is taking its recruitment process fully digital as it launches applications for intake number 70, requiring all prospective recruits to complete an online registration before reporting for recruitment day. The new system marks a significant shift from previous years, with the BDF introducing a streamlined digital application process, making recruitment more efficient and ensuring candidates are better prepared before assessments begin. Under the new system, all applicants must first complete the online application using a Google account and ensure they have reliable internet access before the registration deadline. Recruitment activities are set for Saturday, July 11 at 7 a.m., but only those who have completed the online process will be eligible to move forward. The BDF says applicants must be Belizean citizens between the ages of 18 and 26 and possess either a primary school certificate or a high school certificate. Candidates will also need to provide a birth certificate or passport, social security card, educational qualifications, a recent police record, and 2 letters of recommendation. Once registered applicants will report on July 11 to undergo a series of evaluations, including aptitude and potential testing, physical fitness assessments, and medical and psychological pre-screening. The BDF is also reminding candidates to keep their phones active and regularly monitor their email, as further instructions regarding medical assessment, psychological screening, and subsequent stages of the recruitment process will be communicated electronically. The Defence Force says the transition to a fully online application system is designed to modernize the recruitment process while improving efficiency and communication with the applicants. And with that story, we end tonight's edition of the Evening News here on Love Television. Back tomorrow night, another of News Live at 6. Stay with us. We'll bring you now the latest weather report, and at 7:30, tonight's edition of Belize Watch. Thanks again for choosing us. I'm Ernesto Vasquez, and have a good night.
Good evening. An approaching tropical wave will support an increase in showers over Belize later tonight and tomorrow. The forecast for tonight is for skies to become cloudy at times with a few showers and thunderstorms, especially over southern districts after midnight. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy with some showers or thunderstorms over most areas, with a decrease in shower activity later in the afternoon. Minimum overnight temperatures will range from 80 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast to 74 inland to 68 in the Mountain Pine Ridge. Winds over the open sea will be from the east to northeast at 10 to 20 knots, and seas will be choppy. Near heavy showers and thunderstorms, however, winds will become gusty and seas locally rough. Therefore, operators of small crafts should exercise caution. Maximum temperatures tomorrow will be around 87 Fahrenheit on the coast, 91 inland, but only 80 degrees up in the mountains. The outlook for Friday night is for cloudy skies at times, with a few showers or thunderstorms over most areas, with showers and thunderstorms becoming isolated on Saturday. There is a high tide at 8:16 tonight, and the low follows at 12:41 also tonight. Another high is at 6:59 in the morning, and another low at 2:47 tomorrow afternoon. The moon will set at 2:27 tomorrow morning and rise again at a minute after 4 tomorrow evening. Sunrise in the morning is at 5:20. Sunset tomorrow evening is at 6:30. In the tropical weather outlook, tropical cyclone formation is not expected in our area of interest during the next 48 hours. In the sargassum update, there is a high chance of more sargassum mats affecting coastal destinations during the next few days, producing moderate impacts. With that, we end this report from the Belize Weather Bureau.